And now we are headed into Marina Costa Baja. After I recorded the introduction to this video, I checked in with the port captain. So this video is divided into 3 segments. I'll talk about checking in with the port captain here in La Paz, some highlights of our crossing and trip down the Baja coast, and lastly, a few hints about provisioning. Checking in with the port captain here in La Paz is a relatively simple thing, beginning on channel 16. Everyone needs to check in and out of the port, from the smallest panga to the largest oil tanker, and everyone in between. The port captain is looking for certain items of information when you check in. I'll play back and pause my check-in with the port captain on certain key points. Capitanía de Puerto La Brisa.
Muy buenos días, esta es Capitanía de Puerto de La Paz, 14 por favor.
Canal 14.
Adelante con Capitanía de Puerto La Paz.
Muy buen día. Este es el velero La Brisa de 2 personas. Venimos de Guaymas y iremos a Marina Costa Baja.
Ok, velero Brisa con 2 personas a bordo, procedente de Guaymas, Sonora, y entra a Marina Costa Baja. ¿Es correcto?
Sí, es correcto.
Correcto, muy buen día, bienvenidos y pendientes canal 16.
Muchas gracias, igualmente. When making your salida or departure from the port, you will need to check in again with the port captain. He'll want to know where you're going and how many people aboard. They do speak some English, but I think it's highly appreciated if you make the attempt to speak Spanish. And I do have a recommendation. It's Spanish for cruisers, and the sun is shining in. But anyway, it is a reference for me. It's great for detailing various parts of the boat and making suggestions as far as checking in with the port captain, and the pronunciation guide is excellent. Now let me tell you a little about our crossing from Guaymas. We vowed this year we would enjoy a leisurely trip south, but because of our foul-up in ordering the Starlink, we lingered in Guaymas 3 weeks longer than planned. We watched friends leave, missed weather windows, and once again, we found ourselves racing to La Paz in order to meet incoming guests. The weather window for our crossing was less than optimal, from no wind to southerlies and westerlies. But the outstanding feature of this crossing was the full moon. Our previous crossings had been with little or no moonlight. In the evening, I heat water and fill the pump pot. When we make night passages, we always have a pump pot of hot water, an assortment of teas, hot chocolate or instant coffee, along with various snacks to enjoy while on watch. As far as watches, we have a fairly loose schedule. However, the person going off watch sets their alarm for 2 hours as their head hits the pillow. Time getting ready for bed, preparing one's snacks, or passing down information doesn't count. So roughly speaking, our watches work out to 3 on, 3 off. It works for us short term. We put a reef in the mainsail at nightfall. Occasionally on the Sea of Cortez, localized gusty winds will occur at night, and we have been caught with wild winds and flapping sails in the dark. Now, though we are slower at night, we are comfortable and relaxed. On this crossing, When we changed watch around 2:30 a.m., we made the decision to alter course directly west. The wind was non-existent, and motoring at our rate of speed, we would not make Timbabiche in the daylight. A big consideration in this decision was Blondie, who still refuses to use her special grass carpet on the side deck, even though it had recently been autographed by her German short-hair friend, Copper. We arrived at La Ramada a little over 24 hours after leaving Guaymas, much to Blondie's joy, which she expressed with exuberant running and endeavors to catch fish. We checked out a couple of new anchorages for us, Honeymoon Cove on Isla Danzante and Candelarios, which, like La Ramada, is for southerly weather. Candelarios is home of the Palomar Resort, and amid paddle boarders and kayakers, it was another opportunity for Blondie to stretch her legs on the eastern side of the anchorage. She's happiest when she has a sandy beach and fish to chase. When we departed Danzante early in the morning, we popped into Puerto Escondido, hoping to take on fuel. However, discovered the fuel dock doesn't open until 9 a.m. We decided not to wait around. Big yachts were in residence, and it seemed there were fewer mooring balls available. With the restrictive anchoring regulations, is it my imagination, or are small cruisers like us being excluded? Playing a game?
Yeah.
Blessed peace, huh?
Yeah.
Thanks to Starlink, we knew a norther would be arriving the following day. But with the prediction of gentle nighttime westerlies, we left our lunchtime stop at Candelarios and prepared for an overnight sail to San Evaristo, which turned out to be absolutely delightful. There was still a lot of moonlight from the waning moon, and at times we ghosted along on a magic carpet of 1 to 2 knots. At one point we could hear whales behind us, and several times we were escorted by pods of dolphins, which we couldn't see but could hear. It drove Blondie nuts. Good morning.
Good morning.
Another gorgeous day on the sea.
Yeah.
Sometimes the wind would pipe up and we would crack along at 7 knots. All in all, a lovely sail. The Baja Peninsula is still showing the effects of its brush with the outer bands of Hurricane K, resplendent with lush green vegetation from the abundant rainfall. It was the greenest we have ever seen it. In regard to provisioning, I realize that there is a lot to cover, so today I will talk about cabbage. For us, with our very limited cold storage, we eat a lot of cabbage, and it takes the place of lettuce in our salads. Cabbage is a great source of vitamin C, K, B6, folate, along with antioxidants and fiber. It also stores well, long term. Here, I am pulling off leaves instead of cutting into the head. By pulling off leaves, I can continue to store the head in the produce bin instead of refrigerating it. Prior to returning it to the bin, I cut the stem. This head of cabbage, almost 3 weeks after purchase, made the crossing, and after removing the outer dried leaves, the inner portion is still usable, and we will have a fresh salad. Join us next time for more on provisioning, boat projects, and hanging out at Bahia Falsa. So, until next time,